And we start with the case study 5, building a community within your organization. Please welcome Rashmi Sharma, Associate General Manager from Trailblazers, and Nishita Sethia, who is the Manager Strategy and Special Projects from Trailblazers. Please welcome both of them for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Rashmi, and here's Nitisha.
Yeah. Hi, good morning. Before we start, a quick introduction. So Rashmi has been leading camps with Trailblazers for over 15 years now. She's led camps for over 50,000 participants. She also runs Train the Trainer modules on outdoor education. Rashmi is also trained in canoeing and skiing in Spain and Switzerland.
And Nitisha here is our rescue diver, who's also a psychologist, trained psychologist from Delhi University and an MBA from IMA. She is an avid traveler and a trekker, just completed her basic mountaineering, Everest base camp. And she's been leading most of our treks these seasons. She's also, she actually left her very cushy corporate job from McKinsey and joined Trailblazers to follow her passion for the outdoors. She's been trained in rock climbing and rappelling. She's also a person who loves to travel, a backpacker at heart. She's by now traveled more than 30 countries. So that's Nitisha for you.
Thanks, Rashmi. So we'll just jump in. We have a question for you. Who amongst these do you think spends the least time in the outdoors? Inmates, organic chicken, or corporates? So it's a no-brainer. So in most US facilities, prisoners are guaranteed a minimum of 2 hours of outdoors daily. And organic chicken are given time to spend in the outdoors so that their meat is much healthier and even tastier. So if we can do that for our prisoners and for our chicken, then why not for our company's biggest asset?
So, as per the studies and research done by Chamber of Commerce and Industry, 48% of employees are fearful about their future health. They all know that they are following a very faulty lifestyle. You know, wake up, just get to work, get stuck on the traffic, no schedule for lunch, no schedule for evening, come back home, finish certain presentations, sleep at a later time of the night, and get up early and again. So they know they are following a faulty lifestyle. Thanks to Zomato, Netflix, couch potatoes, or series of cricket matches and things going on. So a very faulty lifestyle is concerning most of us, that what is it going to be after 50 or 60? I don't know what's going to happen to us. So the HR is also wondering how is going to be the Mediclaim for all of these people. So that's one of the big concerns out there today. I'm sure you all are aware of that.
A second problem, which I feel all of you must be already aware of, is that people want to leave companies faster than ever before. So a Deloitte study done last year said the number of people who wanted to leave their current jobs within 2 years was as high as 43%.
So this is a wake-up call for all of us as leaders, as companies, organizations. So what do we do? What is the solution for this? So what does HR and OD do? Up the game, up the HR game. Flexi working hours, work from home, better paychecks, better privileges. Will that attract and keep employees in? Will that keep the team intact? Well, let's see.
So we believe in something that we like to call the Heart Quotient. So we feel if you connect the employee with the heart, that's when you've actually got him. So as Richard Branson said, you take care of your employees and your employees will take care of the company. So we want to present a case study of how Trailblazers helped a particular company develop its Heart Quotient. This company is based in Bombay. It has over 11,000 employees. We work with the Bombay branch, which has about 2,000. This company is also the winner of the best HR practices in a globalized world by AIMA. So we started working with them in 2016, where we did a program for 36 participants. In 2017, there was a huge jump. We did 399. And just last year, we touched base with a whopping 698 participants. So we want to give you a short glimpse of what are these programs that we did with this company. Can we have the video? And sound.
Here at Trailblazers, we believe in helping people to connect with nature. Getting to know your colleagues outside the four walls of an office cubicle is a different experience. It builds a happier community within the company. We provide a wide range of destinations to choose from one-day camps to Himalayan treks to celebrating Women's Day with the female employees.
So at Trailblazers, we feel that doing a one-off offsite once a year may not have any real impact. We wanted to create a constant connection. So what we did was we created a wellness calendar running through the year with programs across formats, across interests, even across demographics to include the families of the employees. So we actually wanted to go beyond the employees to include them as well in the corporate culture. So as you can see, we had something happening every month.
So we'd like to present to you 4 cases that are interesting and worth mentioning in this forum today. Is something that we planned with the employees to begin with. So the management decided to work with the 35 up, that is 35 plus group, and we thought of making them fitter and more on the go. So there were a series of treks that were planned for them throughout the year. We did the Sahyadris, the Western Ghats, once every month, once every season, and built up a sort of a tempo, which then actually finished with a high altitude trek. So every trek, the employees look forward for more challenges and interesting locations, interesting strategies to go up, planning to take their team up, planning to take their energies up, building their energies and capabilities for all the various treks that came in. It was a calendar they were looking forward to. And then it summed up to a very interesting summit, that is a summit to the Mount Chandrashila, which is to 12,000 to 13,000 feet high Mount Chopta Chandrashila Tungnath, which is in Uttarakhand. And all these ordinary looking employees who are not really a fitness freak were actually turning into somebody who's looking forward to such a trek. So so the company also looked into how to train these people. So we followed a regime where a month before there was a Fitbit challenge where they all measured their steps, their diet. We had a diet plan which was shared with them. We shared with them simple exercises, things that they could do within their office time and the constraints of workspace. And slowly, it was something that they were all looking forward, and they managed to do that. And the best part is we roped in the spouses. So on this trek, we also had the spouses who could come along. So it worked very well for them because all these regimes of exercises, diet, healthy living they were able to do this because you had a spouse with you who was doing with you as well. So it worked very well, and end of October, we had around 42 trekkers who made it to Mount Chandrashila, 13,000 feet high, where the air is thin, and but that doesn't stop any 55 to 58-year-old employee to scale it up. So it was something that gave them a great feeling that they could do it even at this age, where this is an age where they actually watched games and never played, but this is the time they also went climbing high mountains. So at the descent, there was a snowfall, which is untimely at that season. And then the rafting at the Ganges was an icing on the cake. So it was something that the employees felt that the company was doing for them, is to get their younger self out, get them energized, get them to look at life again with the same vigor and energy than what it was currently. This also got something that we were looking at, is the Heart Quotient. The Heart Quotient that the company was trying to bring out in their employees. So this was one such activity that got great likes from all of them. The Heart Quotient coming out through the high altitude trek through the year.
The second story we want to share with you is about a Women's Day outing that we organized for this company. So those of us who've read Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In, we know that women tend to hold back at the workplace, sometimes even unknowingly. So this company wanted to take the women out for an overnight program to create a sort of support group for the women so that they could encourage each other to lean in. So in this program, we had an activity called the sharing stick. So we would pass on the stick, and those who had it spoke about the celebrations and the challenges of being a woman. And the kind of stories that came out, I personally was in that circle, and people had tears in their eyes, because there were some women who were 45 to 50 years old who said that this was the first time in their lives that they were traveling without their families. And me, who's been traveling alone since I was 19, I was stunned to hear it. In fact, I was feeling guilty when they said that they've never felt this feeling of independence before. We had some other working women sharing their experiences, and the single younger employees were in awe of how they had done it all, from work to family to kids. And the most special part was at night at the bonfire, we'd organized a fashion show for them, and the number of people who came out to walk the ramp was just overwhelming. After the fashion show got over, they all came out and they thanked the HR and they thanked us for making them live a dream that they never thought that they would. And that's when the Heart Quotient came out. This is from the fashion show.
Well, the third story is about something very unique, something where we touched on some of one of the softest corners of all the employees, is the children. So we all know ads across the television, across the world, target the children, because we know if we get the children, we've got the whole family. So similarly, what we thought is, if we can have something for the children, we could have the employees in. So what the company did is tried to address one of the concerns a lot of parents have. A lot of employee parents are concerned about their children during the vacation, which is like a month-old, 2-month-old, vacation time when they are not home, children are at home, and they aren't supervised, they aren't doing anything, or they are not developing anything other than playing around, or probably sitting and watching, YouTube, Netflix, and a lot of video games. So a lot of parents are concerned about their children, and they're wondering that how am I going to raise a responsible and a child who's going to be facing this world. So the company threw in a very interesting activity for the parents, where they said that, okay, let's do summer camps for children. And this is what we did in the summer to 2016. In the first day of the launch of the program, we had more than twice the batch full. That is, in half a day, we had around 100 participants already. And there was a lot of pressure to have another program, so we had to open up another batch. And within 24 hours, we had almost 200 children enrolled for a program where the parents felt that this is something my child is going to be enjoying and learning something new. So the summer camp went off in full success. We had 190 children who enrolled and who came and who experienced living away from home, learning new skills like, networking, staying away from home, coming out of their comfort zone, getting challenged, learning to read nature, learning to rappel, rock climb, zip line, coming out of their shells which sometimes children put themselves into, And it was interesting to see the director's child and probably the youngest employee or the lowermost entity in the company also sending his child on the same trip. So it was very heartening to see the children sitting next to each other and having absolutely no qualms about sharing their personal space with the various layers of hierarchy that is there in the organization. So it was very interesting to see that. So the children came back happy, children came back bubbling with energy, and they were all celebrating at home the success of this summer camp, where the children were more independent, they were more forthcoming with ideas, speaking. We had accolades and thousands of messages of gratitude coming from the employees, where they felt that they were taken care of because their children were very happy and they came back standing a feet taller than what they were. There were simple messages like, my child never actually folded his clothes. Today he's folding his clothes, he's keeping his shoes in his place. And all those small things, but I am sure that makes a lot of difference for a parent who is not able to give that kind of time to the child. So this was something that got the children learning. The parents felt very comfortable. And that's where we felt the Heart Quotient was coming in. The company was actually reaching out to the employees, touching the heart and making a difference there.
The last story we want to share with you is about a series of family events that we organized for this company. So in these events, the employee could get their child, their spouse, and even their parents sometimes to the program. And in the same space, you had the children playing with each other, you had spouses becoming friends, because there's a football tournament going on somewhere, there's a Garba workshop going on somewhere, there's an activity zone somewhere. And what happens is that if my family is friends with my colleague's family, then we've created a mini family unit. And if I'm thinking of quitting the company, this will definitely play on my mind that I'm not just leaving an organization, but I'm leaving relationships that my entire family cherishes. And the most special part here is when you see your employees in a different light, when you see your strict boss being scolded by his wife, or when you see your colleague who has a 4-year-old daughter, and you realize the sacrifices they are making at work when they're staying back. And that's when the Heart Quotient comes out. That's when you gain a different level of empathy and you know people holistically. So the chief HR of this company told us that he was really in awe of this entire community program that we had built, and he told us that it's paid us great dividends. Now people know each other not just as a chemical engineer, but as a singer, a father, and much, much more.
Sounds great, isn't it? But having something every month for so many employees, every other day engaging into so many activities throughout the year, perhaps far-fetched, is it? Sounds like a fairy tale. But interestingly, what the company did was a masterstroke. Here they made the employees part of this planning and part of this entire community building, where they offered to cost share. They shared the cost of the program in such a way that the employee took responsibility of choosing what he or she thought is good for her or him or his children or his family. So the cost sharing brought in a great dividend again, because the company realized that more and more employees want to do things beyond workplace, and more they want to be connected in a community which is just not looking at a certain goal which the company is driving, but also they are forming a group, a family, a home. And that was something which was what we were aiming to, get the people in a community where they are all connected with heart and not just by work. So
employees even took their own leaves. They had to take their own leaves to do it. And we had enrollments for every single program that we launched. We had to close it down because we run out of space. And the participants said that, okay, when is the next batch? Every time we walk into that office, everyone is saying, oh, hi, Rashmi, you're back. What's the next program? So there's a buzz that's going on, and there's a constant buzz, which is what we were aiming to do with this organization. And in terms of effort, well, you have companies like us or similar that you can go out to and who will organize things end to end. So it's not so much about the effort either. It's more about the intention, more about from head to heart is what I think someone said in the morning. It's about making that mental shift.
So the research says that if a company can offer a good wellness program for their employees, they can reduce the medical and the wellness bill by actually 55%. So if you invest in your employees through various wellness programs, your bill for the healthcare goes down. So it's a great way because that also helps you to have high-performing teams. You will get to have more dedicated and loyal team, and also it will help you to bond together. So this is what we think building a community is about: is traveling together, working together, and bonding together is how a community can be built.
Yeah, a team building session, if you say that, then most people make a face, you have to force them to attend it. But if you say a Himalayan trek, then you have a line of people. And trust us when we say that no team building beats when you share a load up the mountain in the Himalayas, or when you're sitting around the bonfire with no network on your phone. That's when real team building happens. A little bit about us before we end.
We are a 25 years safe and fun-loving company, Trailblazers. We call ourselves an outdoor school. We've had more than 1 lakh of participants who have joined us on our programs, which are ranging from a day trek to mountaineering programs, to scuba diving programs, to skiing in Switzerland. So a whole lot of outdoor programs are offered by us. We have worked with some of the best organizations, and we want to build more. More than 600 organizations have worked with us. We also partner with the best to ensure that we bring out some best programs for our clients.
So Trailblazers also goes beyond camping. We have a social arm called the Trailblazers Foundation, and we also publish a bi-monthly magazine on travel and learning. Our team is a mix of experienced from people who've been there for 22 years, who I've camped with when I was a child, to young millennials who are just come with their trekking bag and trekking shoes and they're up and about. And that's it. So it's time to stop listening to us and to think about if you want to design your own community calendars to go from head to heart. And if you want to have a chat with us to get ideas, then just meet us over lunch, or there's Alap over there. Yeah, that's it. Any questions, anyone?